Lesson 11. The text's name is Hurricanes, Earth's Mightiest Storms. Let's start. Hurricane. The text is about hurricanes. What are the hurricanes? Hurricanes include raging winds and heavy rain. They are the biggest and the deadliest storms on Earth. They are the most dangerous storms on Earth. In this text, you'll learn how wind, air temperature, and moisture interact all together to create one of the most awesome weather events. First of all, where do hurricanes begin? Hurricanes begin on warm tropical oceans. They begin or they start on the surface of tropical oceans and especially warm tropical oceans. How do hurricanes start? First of all, the hurricanes are formed as a result of the warm, moist air during times of low pressure. During the times of low air pressure, they are formed as a result of the warm air, the warm, moist air with water vapor. How do they develop? How do they grow? The warm, moist air rises rapidly. Then the warm air cools. It gets cooler as it rises. Then the moisture in the air, the water vapor in the air, condenses, forms tiny droplets of water. Then it forms clouds. The condensing air gives off energy that causes the storm, which causes a storm. How do the Earth's rotation and the ocean's temperature affect whirling motion of the hurricane? How do the rotation of the air and the temperature of the ocean they affect the spiral motion or the whirling motion of the hurricane? The Earth's rotation causes the rising air to turn. Then the warm ocean helps keep more air rising. Then this results in strong whirling winds. So why are the winds whirling? Because the Earth's rotation causes the rising air to turn. That's why the wind is whirling, and the warm ocean help keep more air rising. That's why there are lots of air that rises in strong whirling winds. The eye of the hurricane. What is the eye of the hurricane? It is an area with low pressure in the middle of the storm where the air is calm. It is a hole in the clouds. It's a hole in the clouds from the top to the middle of the hurricane. So what do we call this area in the middle of the storm? We call it the eye of the hurricane. Why do some places experience the hurricane in two halves? Why do sometimes in some places people experience the storm in two halves? Because after the wind and the rain from the first half of the storm passes over, there's the eye of the hurricane. This area, it's a calm period. Then the storm continues with the wind and the rain from the second half. That's why some places they experience the hurricane in two halves. As you can see in this picture, this is the first half of the storm. Then this is the eye of the storm. In this area, the air is calm and the sun shines. Okay, and after that, this is the second half of the storm. Weather measuring instruments. There are some instruments that are used to measure the weather conditions. For example, the first measurement is the barometer. What is the barometer? The barometer measures air pressure. It measures the pressure of the air. Rising air pressure indicates fair weather. If the air pressure is rising, that means that the weather is fair, the weather is good. But low air pressure, this indicates a stormy weather. This kind of barometer is often found in homes and schools. The second measurement is the hygrometer measure. What does it measure? It measures the amount of moisture in the air or the humidity. It measures the amount of water vapor in the air. The hygrometer tells how much moisture is in the air, so it helps predict whether it's going to rain. It tells how much water vapor in the air. That's why it can predict whether it's going to rain or not. The third measurement is the anemometer. What does it measure? It measures the wind speed, the speed of the wind. The rate at which its blades spin is registered. The rate or how much these blades rotate is registered. That's how it measures the speed of the wind. The last measurement is the thermometer. What does it measure? Of course, it measures the temperature. Where do the hurricanes usually occur? Hurricanes occur along the equator where the water is the warmest. As we said before, the hurricanes start on the surface of warm water. That's why it occurs along the equator where the water is the warmest. Why do the planes fly into hurricanes? To take measurements of the temperature and water content. The measurements will show how strong the hurricane is and might become, because these measurements, they can show how strong the hurricane is or how strong it might become in the future. Why do weather satellites have a different view than that of the planes? Why do the satellites on the right, they have a view that is different from the view of the planes? Because the planes measure the inside of the hurricane, while the satellites get the big picture, the size of the hurricane, the location, and the path or the way of the hurricane. Why can computers determine what a hurricane might do? Why do the computers determine or indicate what a hurricane might do? Computers, they can match a developing hurricane with a previous one in similar conditions. Then they can predict the strength and the path of the new hurricane. What is the genre of the text? The text is informational text. What does an information text tell? Informational text, they tell facts about the topic. What does an informational text include? They include headings that begin sections or relate. Large headings that start sections in the text, okay? It also includes maps, diagrams, and charts. That's it for today. Thank you so much. See you in the next video, inshallah.